Aloha. Welcome to the first 2023 Kihei Community Association General Membership Meeting. My name is Mike Moran. I am I'm spilling the beans. Yes, I am still the president, going into my second decade now. I keep telling the board, what's that thing? If you keep doing the same thing over and expecting a different result, but I guess they like the result, maybe not. But we welcome you to our first meeting, and we are still on virtual meetings, but a hint, we may be going to a live meeting soon, so stay tuned for that live in-person meeting, perhaps upcoming. But we have for some of us, we consider this a very special topic tonight. This is our Greening of South Maui meeting. And one of our challenges is to try and make South Maui naturally greener, not wearing green artifacts, but using natural growth green from particularly trees, particularly growing, keeping the few trees we have, growing more, and allowing the trees to be trees, not cutting their heads off and saying, "Oh, it's still a tree, barely." But so we have some wonderful guests tonight to address those topics. But first off, I'll make the official announcement. Our bylaws require that we announce who are the officers for 2023. As many of you know, the membership elects the board members for each year, and then the board makes the election of the officers. And those of you who have been watching us for a while, no surprises. For our secretary is Patricia Stillwell, once again doing her stellar job as the secretary. And then the treasurer is a very familiar name. That's also Patricia Stillwell. She does the job of two officers in one and does them both very well. And she's willing to do it. And so we're asking her to do this for one more year to do double duty. Our jack of all trades and master of almost everything, Rob Weltman, is again our vice president. And me, Mike Moran, yes, I am the president again. And I keep saying that. Honestly, people could do a much better job than I do, but if this is the will of the board for one more year, I'll continue to do the best I can. We like to remember to say mahalo to first to our members, and then our committee members, and then our board of directors. And for our members, we remind folks that the community gets all the benefits without being a member. You're welcome to participate in these meetings. You get to view our website or Facebook page or Instagram. You can sign up for free for our twice monthly newsletters. We speak for the community. We listen to what the community says, and we ask our government leaders to follow the will of the community. And nobody has to be a member to get all that, but we remind folks we are a membership organization, and if we don't have members, well, then there's no organization. Back in the past century, there were many more community associations. So many of them went under for that very reason. There was no support. So now there's just a handful of active ones. So let's not let that happen here in South Maui. So we need some members. Go to our website, gokihei.org, and you can sign up for membership at various levels. Okay, what else? We remind folks that all the years when we had our live meetings, we had a continuous Maui Food Bank drive where other organizations would have one mass collection effort once a year. Ours was continuous. There's never an admission charge coming to our meetings, but we would ask folks, please bring a donation for the food bank And of course, once we went virtual, well, we didn't have that. So we still make that same ask of those who are participating. No charge to watch, but please make donations to the Maui Food Bank. Even before the pandemic, it was our understanding that on this island, sometimes 10%, sometimes more, of our keiki and our kapuna were going to bed hungry on occasion, which seems outrageous on our island. So please make those basic food contributions. Nobody is stealing cans of food unless they're really hungry, and that's the purpose of it. So please make your donations to the Maui Food Bank as a way of supporting what KCA does. Okay, I think that's all the required announcements we have. So we'll start off. We have 4 individuals speaking tonight, but they're divided up because we're starting off with Tim Griffiths, who is the county arborist. And if you have questions during when each presentation is going on, if you have questions, please write them in so that when the presenter finishes, any questions that you have appear. We don't want to take a lot of time trying to solicit extra questions because we'll be holding up the second presenter. So if you have questions, please start putting them in during the presentation just for the person who's speaking. Please don't try and guess questions for the second and third entities that are presenting because they may answer your question when they present. Okay, enough of me talking. Let me introduce our county arborist. We only have one for the whole county. We're hoping that's going to change in 2023. But I ask you to welcome our county arborist, Tim Griffiths. Tim, take it away, please.
Aloha. Thank you, Mike. I hope everybody could see and hear me. I live right off of South Kihei Road, so if I need to speak up, somebody please let me know. I'd like to thank the committee for having me on tonight, and I'd like to thank everybody who took time out of the evening to join us. Like Mike said, I am the county arborist. My name is Tim Griffith. For those that aren't familiar with the term, arborist is basically just the tree guy. So I look after all the formal street trees, the right-of-way trees, parks trees, fire station trees, police station trees, and the Kanoa retirement trees on all islands. Hopefully soon we could get some work, get some help here with all the work. So just sticking with the theme of the evening of greening Kihei, I'll start off by talking about our current mechanisms for getting new trees planted, not only in Kihei or South Maui, but all over the island. First off, it is in the ordinance that any new subdivision that has 4 houses or more has a requirement of street trees, and it ends up being 1 tree per house. So sometimes, depending on the size of subdivision, you know, we get 50 trees, sometimes we get 250 trees, but they are code required. A lot of times, starting off once the construction's done and the contractor signs everything over, a lot of times the HOA starts with taking care of the trees and the roadways, and then a lot of times the roadways and the trees get dedicated over to the county, and we take care of them. So that's our kind of our biggest mechanism. Next, we have capital improvement projects. We hope to have one coming up here soon in Pilani Village 1, doing, well, if for those who live there or travel through there, know about the mature shower trees, and they are beautiful. They do a great job of shading the road, shading the yards and the houses, but they have the roots have created issues with the curbs and streets and sidewalks. So hopefully coming up, we will be doing a project to repair the curbs, repair the street, repair the sidewalks. I am working with the engineers on this to come up with some alternative plans of creating more space for the trees. They were planted as like I said, people who know the area, they were large stature trees planted in kind of a sub-sized area. So I'll be working with the engineers, hoping to do some bump outs. So taking away some street section and pushing out the curb and rounding it. So where we may have, the trees being, 1, 2, 3 feet away from the curbing, give them an area where there's 5 or 6 feet of space, and take away all that street and curb issue that was being pushed up by the roots. Now have that contained within this bump out. So there's no longer, we don't even have to do any root pruning. We just expanded the area for the trees. And parking's not a big issue there. So we don't have to do any root pruning. We may have to do some root pruning on the private property side. The roots are still cracking, pushing up driveways, foundations, but at least this way, we don't have to hit the roots on both sides. So it allows us to take these mature trees and preserve them, and not just have to cut them all down and start new. So these capital improvement projects, we will be working to preserve, and there are areas where we've lost trees to maybe they died or they had to be removed because they were in too much conflict with a whole bunch of utilities. So we'll be working on creating these bump outs where trees used to be and filling in new trees back to replace what was lost. So besides these capital improvement projects, we also have complete streets projects. So taking areas, we have safe routes to school projects. It's an initiative, but currently in Kahului, we have a complete street project where there's the streets getting redone, there's new curbs, there's new sidewalks, there's new drainage, there's new planting strips, and there's new trees. So in this case, we're actually getting 36 new trees as part of this project. So hopefully in the future, we all know living down here that South Kihei Road is definitely lacking in sidewalks, in planting strips, in trees. So if we do have a project coming up, trees would be a requirement. And definitely looking forward to that. Any of us who have spent time on South Kihei Road would like to get through it a little safer, have a little more shade so we're not baking. Another way we're actually looking to, keep Kihei greener. And it's not so much planting new trees, but it's taking care of what we already have. In the last couple years, I've already taken on several new streets, a new subdivision where we've got nice trees, but they're getting a little big, where the adjacent property HOA has been taking care of them. It's getting a little big for the landscapers. So taking over those trees so they can be on our yearly planning or yearly pruning list. We try and get it done in the spring. Sometimes it goes a little later. Try and do it, you know, April, May. Sometimes it ends up being May or June. But getting these trees on our list where we have certified arborists, pruning them correctly with supervision once a year. Also kind of a part of that, what I've also introduced this last year or two, anybody who has a shower tree adjacent to their property, I'm one of them, I have a county-owned shower tree adjacent to my property. We all know they grow like weeds. I've got them on the contracts, not only to just be done once a year in the spring, but to be done 5.5 months later just in the summer, because, well, we all know they need it. So we have to take care of what we have. Street trees typically, you probably get 75 years. That's kind of a norm for being in such a hostile environment. If you had a tree in a perfect situation, middle of a field, plenty of water, no surrounding infrastructure, you could get 200, 300, 400 years. But street trees, very hostile environments. So 75 years a lot of times is max. So doing everything we can to preserve what we have is big. And so to segue into that, just how hostile the street tree environment is, the last kind of big way to green South Maui, South Kihei, is a great program for Arbor Day. For those who don't know, technically the first Friday in November is State Arbor Day, where we celebrate trees. And so the next Saturday, the first Saturday of the month at Maui Nui Botanical Gardens, there's a tree giveaway. Normally there's 1,000 trees given away. This year, I think we had 1,800, and it's an amazing program. It's put on by Maui Nui Botanical Gardens. It's put on state DLNR. We've got support from Maui Green and Beautiful. We got support from HECO to give away these trees. They're native trees. People can sign up, pick the tree that works for their location, and it's one that they would love to have, and it's free. They can come pick it up, and they plant it in their yard, and they can take care of it, nurture it. Native trees can be a little more sensitive, so when you have somebody working one-on-one with it to, put it in their yard, water it, keep it healthy, it's got some shade, it's not out near the street just being baked and having all these pH issues and compaction issues. The trees have a much more higher survivability rate. So it's a great program, and it brings people in on the community level to, take pride in getting more shade out there. So, all right. So I'm going to start with questions. I know I just saw one pop up. without having to scroll through to the chat section, which I will do in a second. You'll have to forgive me figuring out all the chat stuff, and I'll figure out how to get to that. But the one I just saw pop up on the screen that went away was from Mike. Where does my position reside? It actually was, it started off with the Parks Department. And it was with Parks for 20 years. The original arborist was in the position for 20 years. He retired in 2017. And that's when I happened to see the position pop up and put in for it. I mean, I was born and raised in Oahu, but I happened to be on the mainland at the time and saw this position pop up. And I was doing this on the mainland, and I've been wanting to come back home for years, and it was perfect. So I applied and interviewed. I've been in the position for 5 years. So it was with the Parks Department for last 20 years, and then 6 months once I got here. But the Parks Department has a really good, they've got a lot of parks caretakers, a lot of supervisors, a lot of people out at the parks daily monitoring things. So things had a pretty good hold on them, but the issue was street trees. There was no one really looking at the street trees. A lot of times, you know, if a homeowner was living next to it, didn't like it, it's like, all right, they didn't know who to call, or it's like, why would I call Parks for this? And maybe just cut it down or something like that. So, but they didn't have the eyes on it, so they moved the position over to the Department of Public Works Highways Division. So that's where my position lays now. So that's my direct supervision is with formal street trees and right-of-way trees, but I get calls almost daily from the Parks Department to if they have an issue, you know, I come look at the parks as well. And like I mentioned when I at the start of this, I look at the fire station trees, police station trees. I think I've been to and have physically pruned trees at every police station and fire station tree on all 3 islands. So even though my position is in one department, it's a very unique position that it does cover other departments.
Tim, thank you for answering that question. I'll try and help out with the chat. The first question that came in, it says, we live in North Key across, I'll kind of abbreviate it, live in North Key across from 2 parks. They are a wreck. Used to be beautiful beach parks and now barren wastelands. Trees blew over in December's storm. Beach parks look terrible. So it's not really a question, but then he or she continued on later and says, what are the plans to refurbish these beach parks? I don't know if that's in your responsibility area or not, but that's his question.
I can't answer that. I'm more of a consultant per se for parks. Just for trees, I'll assess, I'll even, you know, I'll grab my tools, I'll do some work. But as far as their engineering, their planning, or their decision making, I don't really have any decision making power, but I can give my recommendation. I know the Parks Department, they don't have like the heavy equipment and all the people power and all the trucks to be, you know, cutting and hauling and loading. I mean, we've had some big Kiawes go down, and the highways, the public works highways crews has been working with parks. Even though we've had so many parks trees fall on the road, you know, the highways crew not only cleared the road, but they did go into the parks a little bit too and help haul that off. So they've really tried to help, you know, not just, you know, cut everything at a property line and say, we got this street, all right, parks, you're on your own. But so we have tried to help. But like I said, parks, as far as cleanup, it's gonna be a slow go. And as far as getting shoreline engineers and, you know, rebuilding and replanting, I that's a completely different department that I can't I don't have an answer to.
Thank you, Tim. I kind of expected that was the situation because, you know, you and I have talked offline about what you do. But I would say to that caller, well, Parks just got a brand new Parks director. You might contact them. Or as you mentioned, Tim, it's really various departments working together. So maybe it's a question for the new mayor, for the individual that's concerned. And of course, we all know the situation with the sea level rise. There'll be some question about how much value is it to plant new trees close to the ocean. That may not be a good move anyway if things are going to change. The next question is who enforces the tree regulations and requirements?
As far as code required trees and like things like that, parking lot trees are on private property. I have zero jurisdiction on private property, but the planning department technically can speak to, you know, these code required trees. Unfortunately, like just about everywhere else, they're understaffed. So I mean, there's not this huge, you know, code enforcement group that can just roll up on scene and go, hey, you're pruning this wrong, you got to stop, or hey, you can't be removing this. Because a lot of the malpruning happens on private property and in parking lots. So if it's in the right of way, I will get calls and I will try and educate people, go out. Like I said earlier, that's why I do take over a lot of this pruning on streets and in subdivisions, is because we have a few people that just want to hack everything to just little poodle balls, whatnot. And it's like, I try to educate. So I take them over so they can be done professionally every year and try to sustain them. But as far as private property, it would be zoning enforcement through the planning department.
Thanks, Tim. I'm just going down the line now. Next question is from Sally Cox, and it's pretty much repeating the other question, maybe in a different part of our shoreline, but it says the Kihei shoreline has been hammered with erosion and with the loss of trees. What can we do to get more shade trees planted to replace the ones that have been recently lost with the storm? Well, I think we kind of addressed part of the challenge with that is that going to be a smart move to start planting trees, which take decades to grow? If we're planting them too close to the shore, you know, we're talking about moving everything away from the shore. But I don't know what else you could say on that you didn't say that first question.
Correct. That's an engineering question. That's a shoreline specialist, you know, dune restoration question. Yeah, you're not going to want to build a house right on the shore. I mean, anybody who's, you know, been out to Kanaha, you know, the people up there just being so kind of being at the most windy and biggest storm surge area on the island. It's like that area has lost hundreds of feet of beachfront in the last 20 years. So it's like, do we want to plant trees or do we need to be, well, I won't even go into the different engineering options. But yeah, I guess, yeah, probably smarter not to answer that question. It is, it's not so much a tree question as a restoration engineering question. I mean, almost a question for the Army Corps engineers, you know. But
Yes,
I
and
think I have time. I have time for like 2 more questions.
well, I think we're out of questions at the moment. I don't see any others, so the timing may have been just right, Tim. And I would just say to you mentioned about shoreline experts. We have a couple of those in the planning department. That's what they do. We have Jim Buca, who is a shoreline expert, and we have the young lady from UH Maui's. Oh gosh, I can't think of that department now. Tara Owens, who is a coastal geologist.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
would be probably the ones to talk to about that aspect, what can be done about the shoreline. But they just addressed the CPAC a week or so ago, and we're addressing those kind of things. It's a very challenging situation, what to do with anything there with erosion.
Exactly. Yeah. Once they get everything shored up, it's like, yeah, then I'd be happy to come in, discuss what would be good for the area, for trees, for understory, for shrubs, just everything. But yeah, there's a lot of different players in anything near the shoreline and everything. But
okay, Tim, we certainly appreciate you coming down and speaking to us. You had mentioned there was an arborist in there before you for decades, and we could never get him come to KCA, where here you are in your first couple of years explaining a lot to folks, and we certainly appreciate the work you do. Hope you get some more support. That's a lot of county land for one man to do, but we truly appreciate you being with us this evening, Tim.
I appreciate the invite. I'm sorry I've got prior engagements that I couldn't spend more time here. So next time, hopefully I could stick around a little longer and hopefully provide more information.
Terrific. Mahalo, Tim.
Mahalo, everybody. Have a good night. Aloha.
Yeah.
Okay, our next, we have a dynamic duo here from Maui Green and Beautiful, and they are going to tell you what, if you're not already familiar with Maui Green and Beautiful, they will tell you what that nonprofit organization does, and then they have a presentation to show you. I'll give you a hint, it concerns trees. Okay, I think, who's going to go first?
Renee.
Renee's going to go
Aloha,
first.
it's Renee Cerezo, and with me is Elaine Molina, and we are with Maui Green and Beautiful, a nonprofit 501c3. And our mission is to care for the Aina through preservation, protection, and education. I'm going to take you through a few slides to show you our progress with the community or the island of Maui. And Rob, whenever you're ready, please go for it. Thank you. That worked out perfect. Okay, first of all, again, like I said, we are Maui Green and Beautiful, a 501c3. And one of our main goals for this nonprofit is to care for the Aina through preservation, protection, and education. And as we go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about the preservation that Maui County has secured a lot of exceptional trees throughout the last 2 or 3 decades during Tavares' time. They also, Maui Green and Beautiful nominations were approved in 2018. Next slide, please. through the, which were identified as the Oluwalu Tree Tunnel, which is on the left-hand side, and the old Maui High School selected campus trees. And then on the right-hand side, there is the South Kihei Road, where the famous monkey pod street trees are. Next slide, please. We've done a lot of tree plantings in the last 3 years, from Makai to Mauka, Keopolani Park, Wai'ehu Community Park, up in Fleming's Arboretum. We've been planting a lot of native trees as well as Milo trees. They seem to be the best survivor. We've had some problems with the Alahe'e. We were in the Kihei area and planted 5 Milo trees, and we planted throughout the area going, like I said, Keopolani Park, Fleming's Arboretum, as well as Haiku Community Center and up at Giggle Hill. Next slide, please. We also did a big project at Kealia Pond National Wild Refuge within the Haiku Boys and Girls Club, and we did another project with Kepaniwai Park and Ma'alai Craft Park. We just finished a project there, and we planted approximately 7 to 8 lolus, Pritchardia. Next slide, please. Also on Haleakala Highway, Elaine was a big part of this, and members at the time in 2009, they planted some jacarandas, and then they actually went back and maintained them and fertilized them and trimmed them and actually protected them from deer. So they had to do all the maintenance. And that's one thing that we're finding very difficult. We usually partner with the Parks and Recreation Department, and Maui Green and Beautiful will actually pay for the trees and bring them in on site, hoping that our partnership between the parks, they will actually take care of the trees. But we've had some problems there. So we need to find out why some of these trees are not taken care of after planting. It's quite an issue, and it needs to be resolved with the Parks Department, and hopefully we can move forward and plant more trees with them and have more survival rates. Next slide, please. So finding a solution to save them, as Maui Green and Beautiful has been working with the county, is working with the communities. We've saved the Lahaina monkey pod trees on Front Street. The sidewalk goes around the tree on one side, and everybody benefits from that canopy shade. Unfortunately, they lost the Ho'aloha park shade trees. We're not sure why. And there was over 30 mature and healthy monkey pod trees along Pi'ilani Highway that were destroyed as well, and not sure why. Next slide, please. Our other protection is important within our INA, and Jan Dapitan, pictured here, was Maui Green and Beautiful's board member and Maui environmental hero, whom assisted in establishing the Hawaii Environmental Court in 2015. So we all need to give her a hand in regards to what she did for the island of Maui, working with the county and working with many nonprofits, which includes Maui Green and Beautiful. Next slide, please. Kanaha Beach Park Conservation Land. USGS did a great favor to Kanaha Beach Park when they established those, I'll call them guardrails, out of the wooden guardrails. They really help protect the area. They help protect all of the native plants, the indigenous, endangered native plants, the wetlands. They did a really great job. And Jan Dapitan was part of this as well, working with them, and also worked with Forest Star, working on planting and restoring a lot of the native plants in the park. Next slide, please. South Maui dryland forest was a victory. There was over 130 acres of preserved land in the Honua Ula Wailea 670, which saved some Maiopilo, as well as some other trees that were there. So that was a victory for this particular dryland forest in South Maui. Next slide, please. Education is so important within Maui Green and Beautiful and for the entire island of Maui for people to really understand that trees are very important and how the canopy of a shade can really thrive in areas and actually people can enjoy themselves. When you think about shade, when you think about trees, when you think about being on an island and we have such beautiful weather 365 days out of the year, and we don't have any trees along sidewalks, say for example of Kahumanu Avenue, if there were trees aligned on that sidewalk, I think we'd see a lot more walkers. We'd see a lot more people walking from their homes to the shopping center or walking to the park, but that's not happening. So one of the things that Tree Circus has really helped, it was started in 2017, and they go out to the grade school as well as other places to provide education to Maui schools, boys and girls clubs, and partnerships between Maui Green and Beautiful and Aloha Arborist Association and Western chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture. So this is what they call the edutainer. This fellow named Tim Warmick is apparently, I've never seen him yet, but a great educator and entertainer on what do trees give us. Next slide, please. There is the annual free Malama Trees Workshop since 2010 in celebration of Arbor Day. And in 2017, there was a walking tour of Wailuku exceptional trees. Next slide, please. Other educational workshops. These are great partnerships with the WCISA and Aloha Arborist Association. The Tree Jamboree on Maui, partnering with the Aloha Arborist Association. And what an event. I mean, we were able to actually see all of these arborists in the trees doing their work and really understanding what kind of job they really have to do to make these trees have a canopy and maintain this canopy. And, you know, removing dead wood or just pruning in a fashion where it will have a canopy that will provide shade for future generations. Next slide, please. Events that Maui Green and Beautiful get involved in are Ag Fest, Haiku Ho'olauea, Earth Day festivals, Maui Green and Beautiful annual meeting, Maui Nui Botanical Garden, La'ulu Festival, Maui Nui Botanical Garden and Maui Association of Landscape Professionals Arbor Day Expo, Maui Green and Beautiful annual Malama the Trees, Tree Circus, and workshops with Maui Green and Beautiful and WCISA Aloha Arborist Association. Next slide, please. Are there any questions before Elaine continues with this wonderful project with Kihei Community Association regarding the Reshade Maui Public and Private Awareness Campaign? Okay, take it away.
I didn't see any questions pop up.
Okay,
So
very good. Thank you. Okay, Elaine.
Okay, aloha everyone. Maui Green and Beautiful, as Renee had said, is partnering with Kihei Community Association. We applied for a grant and received one in September of 2022 to reshade Maui, and especially in the Kihei area. The focus will be on the importance of parking lot shade to fight climate change. And it'll benefit the community, of course, by reducing temperatures in areas that create such a, it'll create a positive impact on climate change by having shade. One of the things we'll be doing is an educational outreach to management of shopping centers, condos, places that have parking lot areas that are considered heat islands. The outreach will also include recognizing the existing shady parking lots. We'll also testify for stronger Maui County parking lot ordinance to include 50% shade canopy of trees. And we're going to testify to make the Maui County planting plan to become an ordinance to protect the urban and community forest of Maui. The planting plan was written by our own Ernie Resents, Maui's own tree expert, and internationally recognized as a true professional of arboriculture. Another educational outreach will be to meet with the arborists and community members to be a part of Reshade Maui and to stop the chop. Next slide, please. So think about it. Where do you park your vehicle on a sunny day in Maui? To do errands, go to work, go to your appointments. Isn't it under a shade of a tree? Look at the photo below. I mean, that's where we all want to park to keep our cars cool. So why don't we have more parking lots like this? A really important thing is properly pruned trees would provide a beautiful canopy. Trees should be pruned according to the American National Standard that all arborists should follow, including the ISA certified arborists. Trees give us so many benefits, including fighting against climate change. All we got to do for them is some TLC, tree loving care. Next slide, please. So go to any parking lot during the day, and this is what we see in Maui, in Kihei, Kaului area. We see these poor trees that have so severely been pruned and incorrectly pruned. They're stressing. Yeah, they're going to hang on as much as they can, but it really hurts the health of the tree. And it hurts us because they're not doing the shade for us to benefit from. Next slide, please. And so climate change and heat islands, treeless parking lots make problems of climate change worse. They are unattractive, unhealthy, and uncomfortable. Just think, shade, less parking lots, increased levels of carbon. They also increase the hot temperatures, and Kaului is usually the hottest place in the state of Hawaii. Because there's heat islands there producing all this heat, our air conditionings are going to work harder. Trees really shade, and they do so much for us. Also, they can prevent extreme flooding. Just think if you have trees there, as the rain comes down, it would hit the leaves instead of coming full force into your ground. So trees give us a lot. Next slide, please. So here they are again. We do have ordinance. The ordinance says 1 tree for every 5 parking spaces, but it doesn't require canopy shade percentage. And that's what we're hoping to improve on. Stunted trees meet the code. It's so sad. Which would you rather have, the 4 pictures on top or the 3 pictures below to park under during the day, and all the other benefits they give us? Next slide, please. So the benefits of tree canopy shade and parking areas: the cooler temperatures, low energy use, cleaner air. Just think, we have foggy days. Those trees can help filter. They also give us oxygen. They increase the revenue and value when you're shopping. They actually did studies where people spend more in a shopping area that's covered with shade. Trees reduce stress, and of course they're beautiful. Cleaner water and a habitat for birds and bees and butterflies. Next slide, please. We really want to thank everyone, and we really want everyone to become involved in our Reshade campaign. The rainfall really does follow the forest, whether it's an urban forest or a forest on the side of Haleakala. We really want to thank Kihei Community Association with their partnership and for their support. And please contact us, keep involved with us. And if there's any questions, we're open to them. Thank you.
Well, ladies, for that wonderful presentation. Sometimes when we see this, no questions, sometimes that's an indication of what a great presentation, that you answered all the questions. People, I was going to ask that. Well, I already got the answer to it. And for KCA, we have advocated for years, just as you know, our spectrum is so wide that we can't go in deep, where we need organizations like Maui Green and Beautiful going in deep on these specific issues, that we can only say, hey, we need more trees, and that's the end of it, where you guys are digging in and trying to get laws changed, stronger enforcement. And, you know, just as you said, trees have all these marvelous benefits, plus they look good. So why can't we get more trees? And the few trees that we have, why can't we preserve them? So that's so important to us. I know personally, I rarely leave our island, but a few years ago, I went over to the big city on Oahu, to the capital, and we had a break in between. We went out and walked right across from the capital. We walked into this park. It was like air conditioned. No, it's just all these trees there gave us shade, and the temperature was much cooler. So if they can do it in a big city, why can't we be doing it here on our little neighbor islands? Well, with an organization like yours leading the way and trying to do more, and we certainly need it. There was a recent article, and when Rob put out the blurb for this meeting, he showed that for South Maui, how poor our percentage is of getting shade, and anybody who lives here knows it. When you presented that the monkey pod grove on South Kihei Road, why is that? We just have that one little spot, and we had to fight twice to keep those trees. It was
Yes.
like, leave the trees we have, get us some more. So I don't see questions been posted. Mike, stop talking.
I see where Rob posted a question. How about a master plan for near shoreline trees? That would be a great to have a plan like that, and that could be combined with what Reshade Maui is doing now. But that would need a lot of assistance, like we said, from engineers. We would have to look at water line, shoreline access, where trees would actually be able to be planted and not interrupted because of shoreline water destroying them. Yeah. Good question, though.
And
know if
something
that-
we can advocate for. You know, you're not,
Yeah.
you're a nonprofit. It's not that you could do this, you know, that you could do the work, but advocate for it. Again, we have a new mayor, you know, a new department. So hopefully it'll be a new attitude that'll be more aligned with what you guys are saying tonight. We need more trees, and they're beneficial. We're not asking for something that's harmful. We're asking for something that helps in so many ways. And not in our district, but if we had more trees up country, that would help a lot with our flooding issue. If we had those trees to absorb the water up there, which Mother Nature put there centuries ago, and humans came along and took them out. So hope for the plans. Okay, well, thank you so much for your presentation tonight, and we'll look forward. We'll wait for the county to hear the action that you're trying to present once the council gets organized and can start having committees and meetings. Hopefully by February, things will be there. But again, big mahalo to you guys.
Thank you.
Mahalo nui,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you. Aloha.
And I guess I'll try and do these one at a time. Not so good. Okay, I had a couple of brochures that I was given. I'll just tell you one. It says, why topping hurts trees and tree values. So yes, just still educating this old dog to learn a little bit more about the situation. Okay, our cleanup presenter, when the first two presenters were talking about educating the youth on these things, teach the children well so they can teach the parents what to do. Cody Nimitz, I've known Cody, I'm going to say about a decade. And when we used to participate in various group meetings, whether they were governmental or nonprofit groups, and I would watch Cody, he was either on his phone recording things or he was copiously taking notes. So I asked him one time, well, what are you doing all this for? And he said, I got to bring this information to the young people. You know, it's like they're not coming to these meetings. They're not getting this information. So that's how I can get things done, is educate the youth. And he's going to talk about a project that he's headed for, I guess it's well over a year now, right in the heart of South Maui, just off South Kihei Road, which is physically doing that, going out and doing the work in the land, near the shoreline, and educating the kids, bringing the kids in to participate. So Cody Nimitz is his name, and many of us that know him refer to his nickname Coco Roots. So whether it's Cody or Coco, Coco, can you put on your video and we'll get you to hear what you have to tell us tonight. There he is. Oh.
Aloha. So, yeah, maybe Robert, if we can get my slides going, then we can begin. Mahalo nui, Mike.
You bet, Cody. While Rob is getting that set, can you explain the location of where you're doing your work?
Sure. So, the name of the area is called Waihulikai, and Waihulikai actually refers to the local i'a, or the ancient fish pond that is in the area, and it is right across Paradise Gardens, just south of Koa Lagoon and Menehune Shores. And in that area is about 4 to 6 acres of preservation land from the county. And if you're, there's a small beach access area. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. But it's right across the Paradise Gardens area. And a lot of people know it as kind of like a place, you know, I see a lot of people jogging in the area. They'll take their dogs there, and they'll end up there for, you know, sunset or in the morning time. Okay, mahalo, Rob. So, you know, I'm just gonna begin with these slides. So our hui is called Aina Kukoa. The word Aina refers to the land. In other contexts, Aina also refers to that which feeds. Yeah, so the Aina as land, or that in which feeds. And the word ku refers to either standing, but it can also refer to, for us, it refers to the work that we're doing, the advocacy that we're doing and the implementation that we're doing on the Aina. And the word ko'a refers to the coral. So in a lot of contexts, the coral is always looked at as a place of refuge for fish. So in our hui name, Aina Ku Ko'a really talks about um, a refuge on land, a place that we've been advocating for and implementing traditional practices for the benefit of our main goal is kuleana, stewardship, management of land. Okay, next slide. So before we continue, I'm just gonna do a little pule, a little oli for you guys. And this oli is called Kulani Hakoi. E kia kunu ia ko iki a koloa ko poko e vehe kalani, vehe ia. Ka hola I kalani, ka hola ia. Va vahi kalani, va va ia. E kulani ha ko I kau mai la I luna e hu. A ua mai la ua, a kupu mai la kupu, a mu'o mai la mu'o, a liko mai la liko, a lau mai la lau, a lala mai la lala, a kumu mai la kumu, a kumu pa'ahina ole. E olu mai, a ulu mai la e. A e leo vale no ue. Now, the reason why I did Kulani Hakoi and why I have it on my slide is Kulani Hakoi refers to this river in the sky. But the most important part of Kulani Hakoi is in the oli that I did, and it talks about what happens after the river comes down, which is new life. It talks about the growth of plants. And so it's very important that when we acknowledge our waters, the waters that are coming through Kulakai, that we're not just looking at the impacts of flood and the damages, we're also acknowledging that with water, there is life. All right, so next slide. All right, so Ho'olana is introduction. And whenever we bring huis or groups out to Waihulikai, we always have this exchange with our guests. Either it's keiki or our community members, but it's very important that we share mo'olelo, share stories, and share a little bit about ourselves, a little about each other, and a little bit about the Aina. So for me, myself, my name is Kodenemetui Vaiti. I was born in Samoa. I was raised in Hawaii my entire life. I was raised basically on Walakahau Street my entire life. I went to Kihei School. I went to Lokelani School. I graduated from Bowdoin High School. And I got involved with Aina work from basically, just seeing a lot of changes throughout my life, a lot of memories of places that became developed, and it just gave me a lot of concern to want to learn more about these changes and be a part of it and make sure that we protected a lot of those last very intimate and private spaces that we have left. All right, next slide. So Vahipana talks about your sense of place. Now, when we're talking about our project area, we're talking about Waihulikai. And if you're looking into this map, you notice that we have two waterways that surround Waihulikai. One of them is Waipuilani River, and the other one is Kulani Hakoi. Whenever we're understanding where we are, it's always good to know your boundaries, your markers, what is around you. So knowing that we are surrounded by these two powerful waterways, we know basically the types of impacts and the types of effects that we deal with in this area. If you look at those little triangles that are in our project area, it kind of shows you where our project area is. These are basically the areas that border our project area, which is about 4 to 6 acres. All right, next slide. This is an aerial view of our project area. As you can see on the side, on the north side, actually is that waterway, that Mulivai. And that Mulivai is basically the area that we're currently working on, and we've been doing a lot of clearing, but more so we've been doing a lot of a lot of observing and understanding this Mulivai. This area is so amazing, guys. It provides so many unique aspects of South Maui. Not only do you have your Mulivai, we have marsh area in here, we have a shoreline in here, we have a field area, a sandy area, and it only provides different sorts of plants, seed banks, and many aspects of education and aina. Okay, next slide. This is a historic photo and aerial view that shows, I think this was taken in the 60s, but it shows an aerial view of this area from Kalapolepo Fish Pond all the way down to Laie, the Laie waterway. And as you can see, we have 4 very large fish ponds here. The one that we all know is Kalapolepo, and then the big one right there, right next to Kalapolepo, that really big one, that one is called Waihulikai. So that's where we got our name from, and it's really to give homage and respect to this historic place. Right in the middle of this fish pond is our project site. Next to Waihulikai, you have Keokeakai, another pond, and lastly, the last one all the way to the south is Kealamoi Malia. All right, next slide. Here are a couple other historic pics of this area. One very noticeable feature on the left photo is you can see that at one time there was a very large lagoon there, and it's actually where Koa Lagoon is now. And right on the south end of Koa Lagoon is where our Mulivai sits. And we've been told stories of this area, how it was a very large lagoon, and in those times you could even wash off and swim in there at times. But it goes to show how these changes have happened so fast over a short period of time. All right, next slide. Another part of understanding your sense of place is understanding your watershed as well. What we're looking at is 2 major watersheds in our project area that kind of meet right in the middle. One is Kulanihakoi Gulch, and the other one is, one is Kulanihakoi watershed, the other one is the Waipuilani watershed. And we're getting into this other aspect we call Ha'awina. Now, Ha'awina really refers to the work or the assignment, the things that we are acknowledging and the things that we are setting out to do. So you can move on to the next slide. So part of Ha'awina is mapping out our project area. As you can see in yellow is our shoreline, which is zone 1. Part 2 is our Akulikuli ephemeral wetland zone, which Akulikuli is a ground cover plant, and these are usually found in more marsh areas. 3 is our Mulivai area, and this is our permanent wetland where water is Usually they're all standing waters. They're usually all year round. And 4 is our field area. So this is a mix of soil, clay, and a lot of sand as well. What we've been implementing in these zones is to restore our sand dunes out in the front on zone 1, to restore our ground covers in zone 2. In zone 4, we are creating tree lines. We want to create tree lines to help mitigate storm surge, tsunami. And in zone 3, it's really caring for our mulivai. It all involves really acknowledging our seed banks, what has been lying in dormant, waiting to come up, and allowing it to spread. It takes a lot of kilo, a lot of observation to understand the functions of our environment and to notice how they impact one another. Yeah. So when we have big runoffs, our aina goes into this different mode. It takes all the impact, but then it starts to fight back, and it's pretty amazing to watch some of these crazy impacts that we get, but then to see it start to bounce back is another thing, right? And to understand those things and to really learn how to not interfere with that, but to work with it. All right, next slide. So part of our Havina process is collecting data, yeah, and acknowledging how the water works. We know that these names were not named for no reason. Waiahuli, Wailuku, Waipuilani. And they talk about the different ways that the waters move throughout the island. We understand these great silt deposits, and we know Kalepo Lepo wasn't named Kalepo Lepo for no reason. Lepo means dirt. And so we get all this silt coming down, and more silt recently than we've ever seen before. And when you get more silt coming down, these waterways open up more and more. Okay, next slide. So this is just another example of what it looks like when our waterways aren't functioning as how wetlands should function. And when we really look at water in South Maui as something in hindsight, when we should be valuing our water. Like I was saying before, Kulani Hakoi doesn't just talk about the great rivers that come down, but it also talks about what happens after the growth. All right, next slide. Now, this is a really good example of, most people will see this and they're kind of like, oh my God, but this is kind of what we want. And this is kind of some of the things that we're trying to work towards. What we're trying to do is we're trying to clear our mulivais, our waterways, and plant native sedges, native ground covers, so our water hit those plugs that are in the sand and hit our plants and are able to move onto the land to create what is a wetland. Now, I will tell you that I'm sure the condo owners were probably in horror seeing that their manicured grass was covered in silt and dirt and mud. But this is the natural process of how water is supposed to move in South Maui. There's old stories that talk about the water moving sideways with the ocean. And this is the process. This is how it happens. This is how the dirt, the water, this is how everything cleans out before filtering out to the ocean. All right. Next slide. Yep. So believe it or not, it's like night and day right at our project site. Right in front of our project site, we have these beautiful dunes. Right next to our project site, right in front of the condos, this is what the dunes look like. They're basically eroding. Trees are falling down into the shorelines. And if you ever take a walk and see, it's like night and day. You can tell that when you have a lot of foot traffic, a lot of that foot traffic that is taking out all the native plants and the native sedges and the native ground covers, that you have nothing holding it in place. And when sea level comes up, the difference is, even though all this area is going to be covered in water, the difference is that one area is going to be torn apart and the other area will be, the water will climb and the water will make its way in. But we want it to climb. We want to make sure that our infrastructure is intact. Okay, next slide. So this is the area of our Mulivai that we've been working on, and this is kind of showing what it's been looking like after these big rains. We've cleared out pretty much the entire bank on the south side, and we've started to implement our native sedges and our native ground covers. But you know, it's a part of the kilo process, it's a part of observation to understand our seasons, our water changes, how they move, and we're constantly out there observing and watching how the changes occur to tell us when are the best times to plant. Usually you plant during the wintertime, but the wintertime is when our waters move. So now we're noticing that our ground covers and our sedges would be best to plant a little later, more near the Calvella or near the summertime. All right, next slide. So these are some photos of some of the keiki planting makalua, which is a native sedge alongside the banks. The picture to the left is showing how much silt is in the Mulivai, enough where that rock is sitting right on top. You can see some of the kids in there. We've been clearing that whole area. And that bottom right photo is showing just how wide this is. The neighbors in the area told me this past rain was the widest they've ever seen the Mulivai become from all the silt that came in there. And if you can imagine, all of that silt went into the ocean. And we've been doing water testing, and the oxygen levels this past month was at a 6 or 7, and then when this last rain came in, it was 0. So basically no room for life to live in there. All right, next slide. Now, Ho'okama'aina really talks about becoming familiar. Yeah, we all know the Kama'aina, you know, when you get your Kama'aina card, but Kama'aina is really about becoming familiar. And when we become familiar, it's really becoming hands-on. Yeah, and this is one of the things we teach our community members who come out to help, and we teach the keiki. You know, we want them to understand the feel of the lepo. How does it feel? How does it feel on your toes? How does the limu feel? What kind of limu do we have? So we do things like limu survey. We acknowledge what kinds of fish are there. We entertain proper fishing practices. All right, next slide. And we get our communities involved. Basically, whole Kama'aina is really about understanding the kaulike, the balance, yeah? Although we're removing invasives, we're planting natives. So there's this kaulike of ao and po, you know, of light and dark, right? We understand that we have a lot of invasives in the area, but we also understand that our native seed banks have been thriving and evolving here for millions and millions of years, and they've become ma'a, or they've become in their own way knowledgeable on how to mitigate a lot of these things that we're combating right now: erosion, runoff, things like that. So we basically, we don't do too much planting. We do planting, but it's mostly removing invasives and allowing our seed banks to return. All right, next slide. We take a lot of cuttings from the area to create our own plants, and this is another part of of being kamaaina, of understanding the growth of our plants and how we propagate them from seed, from cutting, how to collect the seeds, how to plant the seeds, how to watch the plants grow, how to put them into the ground. It's all about a part of being, being a part of these plants' lives. And we do have a lot of help from nurseries like Hokunui and UH Maui, who have helped us on many occasions. But we want to come to a point where we're collecting everything ourselves, we're propagating everything ourselves, and we're putting everything back onto the same aina. All right, next slide. And Loina is really about traditional practices. Loina talks about customary practices. Right now, we're in the season of Makahiki, and this picture shows the march around the islands. And when this hui made their march around the island and came into our moku, our kulakai, we hosted them down at Waihulikai. We set up a big tent. We had them walk in with lono, that akua that they're holding, and they were able to sleep there overnight until they woke up in the morning and continued their walk to Lahaina. So it's very awesome to really be a part of hosting traditional customary practices. Next slide. And this is another one. So my mother is a weaver as well. And, being a part of Makahiki season, she came down and taught a lot of people how to weave, do hat weaving. And this is usually the time where, we're not focusing so much on working on the land, but more so on understanding that the ethnobotany of our plants, our foods, and of our aina. How do we use them? How do we use them for medicine? How do we use them for shelter? How do we use them for food? And Makahiki season really is a great time to understand those things. Okay, next slide. And then finally, it's Kilo Aina. And Kilo Aina is probably the biggest part of what we do. And like I was saying before, it's about understanding where you are. Yeah, and I strongly, a lot of times, I've noticed throughout my research that there's so much information out there when it comes to restoration, but there's hardly anyone who have their eyes on the ground all the time. Yeah, and that is probably the most important part, is that we have management. So, previous to the 1800s, in these areas, Hawaiians were managing these fish ponds. They were managing the wetlands. They were managing the taro that they were growing there. And these areas were constantly managed. And I feel that our community really needs to get into this mode of land management. It's part of our kuleana. It's part of that stewardship of living in the area that we live in. And our waterways and our wetlands should never be on hindsight. It should always be in the forefront, and things to be proud of, and things to teach our kids that yeah, we got to care for these places. We got to, make sure that our ground covers are there, that our sand dunes are taken care of. When you leave it to just restoration huis, that's one thing, but in the big run, I really feel it's our community that is going to have to look after our special zones, our waterways, and our wetlands. All right, next slide. So again, Kiloaina is really about observing, understanding the water, feeling it, watching it in its different phases, whether it be morning, afternoon, nighttime, winter, summer, spring, after the big rains, before the big rains, collecting journals even, and collecting data and just adding all of that up. In time, you'll begin to understand the wind currents, the ocean currents, the animals, um, and then you'll be able to have a bigger insight on what can work and what cannot work. There's a lot of people with all these ideas on how to clean this, how to clean that, how to mitigate this, how to mitigate that, but hardly any of them understand the AINA itself. So I would say the biggest thing is to get out there, get in the water, feel the AINA, and get to know it. Next slide. So just teaching the kids about what is Kilo AINA. And then next slide. And then Kaya Ulu is talking about our community, which is really important, a really important part of what we do. And it's bringing us together. The AINA is basically bringing us all together. Community, our students, our keiki. We've had so many people out here from so many different walks of life, professors, teachers, farmers, and everybody has so much great manao to share. Everybody comes from different walks of life with different ideas, and it's always good to throw things around, have a good time talking about things, and offering our own possible solutions to help with climate change, erosion, and everything that we're dealing with. Okay. Yeah, just a few more photos of us gathering. All right. Some of our kupuna. Okay. And I wanted to end with this photo right there. So I took this photo right in the middle of COVID. And it's just probably the most amazing thing that I ever seen. Sometimes in land management, the best thing to do is to not even manage it at all. It's to just let it do its thing. And it's to understand when to let those things happen. And this rare photo, which, it's not like this anymore, but when no one was on the beach, the aki grass and the pohuhui made it all the way to the shoreline, all the way to the water. And it was so rare and it was so amazing. And I'm so glad I got the photo to show that our seed banks in our AINA is still alive. And all we got to do is just nurture it and help it to spread. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo, Coco. Boy, that was outstanding, brother. I mean, I've talked to you about the good work that you do, but the thing about the picture, seeing it and seeing how many people are involved, and how long have you been doing this project? It's been going on for a while.
So
right?
we've been volunteering. I've been volunteering with some other people, with some other members for over 3 years before we finally got our grant. And we've been basically getting, this is our second grant that we're on right now from the county. So basically like for around 5 years, we started well before COVID, and I was observing it through COVID as well.
Yeah, I remember when that land became, because the plots of land around it, you'd see one more mega mansion, or whatever they call them, McMansions, popping up on those few pieces of land. And we kept going to the administration and the council at the time saying, why don't you buy up that land so we have something left? And, it was always that, well, we'll take a look at it and another house. And this last piece of land came up, and the landowner went to the county and said he was willing to sell it to the county. And the then mayor purchased it. And it looked like it was going to be another parking lot. because it would be the north end of the park. And they were talking about, you know, it was like, what, you gotta pave that over? And then you and I don't know who else was involved with you came in with this idea. Hey, instead of doing that, why can't we go in there and work the land? And here over years shows the tremendous progress that you've made in there and how
You
much
know,
better.
that's completely true. That's kind of what kicked it off for us, and I think that the biggest thing that I was thinking about was, during that time where we're fighting the Pilani Promenade and things like that, and um, we needed something that could advocate for what we're constantly talking about. We needed something that we could go into and be a part of that could advocate for everything that we always talk about, and that so that people knew that when we were testifying that we weren't just speaking words, that people could understand that we were actually putting it to work, yeah, and that we are getting our community involved, and that people cared about what was happening. And it's exactly what it's been showing. We've been putting it out there, and a lot of people have been coming. We've been having majority of schools, and we actually, this March coming up, we have 40 teachers from Lokelani that are coming, and 100 students coming from seventh graders coming from Kamehameha School. And what it's doing is it's providing South Maui as a place, as a cultural space. And to me, I think it's so important because we haven't had a cultural space like that for a long time. The only other space that we've had where we could come to was, where students could come to, was the Kalapolepo. Yeah. So having Kalapolepo and having Waihulikai, what it does is just gives the kids options. It gives teachers options. They want to know how to get their students outside and into the environment. And um, I hope that one day we're not always going to be hosting everybody, but it's going to come to a point where, you know what, you set up your curriculum and you come down there yourself. And we want it to be something for the community, not just, oh, go see Coco or go see the Hui. Like, we want everybody to just understand the significance of the place before, before they go and get inside. Like I was saying, like management, when we talked about it, it's allowing for that access, but it's also managing that access as well, right? We don't want to leave anything worse than how we found it. We want to make sure that it's even more pristine when we leave it, but at the same time too, it's so important that we keep learning from it and learning from each other.
Well, you talked about growth of the plants from the seeds, and you're doing that with the human seeds. Those kids will be growing up. You've been doing it for years. They're getting older, and some of them will be taking this over. And then you'll be Uncle Coco then. Hey, Uncle,
Yeah,
we can take this over now. And I guess a good way to
we
close
hope
out,
so.
we had one comment here is asking, how can they contact you? They would love to be involved in your work.
So right now we're still working on our website, but we have a Facebook page. It's called, I can put it in the chat. It's called Aina Kuko'a Waihulikai, and I update it almost every other day. If not, you guys are more than welcome to come down. Um, we're there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to 1 p.m. And we always have people stopping in, talking story. Some people just want to come in and talk story, and some people want to come in and help pull some weeds. And um, I would say, just come out.
Nothing like being there in person. I mean, then you can just show up, see what's going
Yeah.
on, and see how they can help.
I'll
Well,
put it in the chat.
that would be great, put in the chat. And that worked out perfectly because we're just at our closeout time. But I mean, what a grand finish. We thank all the presenters who gave us different perspectives for greening, but seeing that overwhelming, and people don't see it. They're riding up and down South Key Road in their cars, and they don't even realize what's going on there. So yes, just pull over, as you said, you're there often, and folks can just drop in and see for themselves, or those that are the keyboard jockeys can see it. You just put it there in the chat, go to that Facebook page. So Coco, thank you, and thank you to the Maui Green and Beautiful Wahine, and our arborist is off taking care of his guests, but we appreciate everybody coming out tonight. And our next official meeting is the third Tuesday in March, which I think is March 21st. So check our website for details, and good chance that one may be an live in-person meeting for those that have been asking for that. So I trust most of us are home. We used to say, get home safe, but we think hopefully everybody is home safe now. But thank you for all who watched and participated. And a big mahalo to my buddy Rob, who makes all this happen. I can just sit here and work my lips and gums and look pretty here while Rob is doing all the work behind the scenes. So mahalo, everyone. Enjoy the week, and we'll be back in March. Ahui ho.
Ahoy ho.
Thank you.
Aloha.